Hello everyone. Well, I have a new inbox, Hoover Turbopower 2. I'm not sure what year this is from. I don't know, it could be even the 2000s or the late 90s. Comment below. We might be able to date it when I open it. So this was a bite now on eBay. A considered purchase, but I had sold 4 or 5 of my other vacuum cleaners so I could fund this. All the other vacuums were sold at a loss, but I had enough to buy this and some money left over. So I've sold 4 vacuums I didn't want anymore and bought one I did want. So I think by the time this machine came out, we were sort of going towards the end possibly of the Turbopower 2 cleaners, because there were the pure power machines that sort of took over from Turbopower 2. This is model U2188. It's 1100 watts. The original Turbopower 2 had an 800 watt motor. So they've upped to the wattage and probably reduced the quality somewhat. It was very well packed. It was received with bubble wrap around it, shrink wrap, even had some underlay on the top and bottom. The box is leaning a bit, but the seller has made a good job of packaging this up. So let's hope, fingers crossed, when I pull out this Turbopower 2, we're not going to find any broken bits of plastic. We've got some different packaging in here, some extra packaging. Right, so don't want to force it. I'm sure it wouldn't have had this polystyrene originally. Well, it might have had some. Oh, you don't want to come out, do you? This is going to be a difficult birth. Oh, I don't want to. Let's see if I can remove some more of this polystyrene. Make it a bit easier. Oh dear, oh, what's this? Right, oh, we'll take these out first. So I've got the paperwork, a handle. Trying to save this bubble wrap because I am selling a lot of my vacuums and bubble wrap comes in handy. Yep, that so far looks good. Now we are missing, but we're not. We are and we're not. Missing the roundel. I'm pretty sure this spec of Turbopower 2, they wouldn't have bothered. Although, saying that, actually, there's evidence that there was some adhesive there. So possible. I mean, I do have one that fits that, but I think I've earmarked it for another Turbopower. So there's that. It still doesn't want to come out of the box, so we'll take out. We've got Hoover service plan, and we've got oh no, 2 non-genuine bags. Yuck. They'll be okay. I can cut these down to use in Hoover Junior or something. I'll be using a fleece bag in this, hopefully. Oh, right, you're coming, you're coming. Gonna need a polish. It's a lovely burgundy colour. Lovely colour, that is. Beautiful. Beautiful, right. I think that's everything. Allow me to introduce you to the Hoover Turbopower 2 1100 watts of pure suction with 5-stage microfiltration and edge-to-edge cleaning. I must say I do like this colour. It's a beautiful deep red. I think Hoover call it, I probably pronounce this wrong, chambertin red. I don't know, I think it could be a French word. But so far she's had a bit of a polish up, she or he or it, whatever the thing is, and there's nothing broken. So as long as this machine works, when I plug it in and switch on, I'll be pretty happy with my purchase. Let's have a quick look at the paperwork. So we have an envelope going to Warwickshire for some reason. That's for the Hoover Service Plan Guarantee Department. That could actually relate to the other piece of, here it is, your Hoover Service Plan. So I think if you wanted to have some extra cover for your Hoover cleaner, you could fill out this form, pop your check in, and you can extend the guarantee, costing £31 for a vacuum cleaner. You've still got to, they say you've got to fill this out to register your 5-year parts guarantee. But you can, oh, it's only for an optional second year cover. So that include parts and labour. For £31 or £34 if it's a wet and dry vacuum. I don't think we'll bother with that. We do have, I assume that's a copy of the serial number. We'll be looking at that later. We'll try and date this. It's got the new dating system on, I think. It's not as easy to date as some of the older machines, but I believe I should be able to find out how to date this. I can't even think when it's from. I'm thinking 90s, but it could be into the 2000s. Yeah, trouble-free cleaning. There's a Hoover Pure Power there. This will be for bags and things. Oh yes, it's a prepaid, not prepaid. You've got to fix the stamp. This is going to Bolton in Lancashire, where Hoover had their spares department. They still might have, I'm not sure. So you can fill out your form if you've bought a Pure Power, Turbopower 2 or 3, Turbopower 1, an Ascenta, a Micro Power, an Aria, an Alpina, a Constellation, an Aquajet, or you can have bag clips, you know, for the reusable bags. Now Constellation, don't confuse that with the classic Constellation. Constellation is referring to the Galaxy styled cleaner. So yeah, so the Alpina, so this is around the same era as the Alpina. So I do have a brochure with this in, and the Alpinas. So it could be late 90s. Yeah, I don't think it's into the 2000s. Hopefully, if you keep watching, we'll find this out. And if not, I'm sure Steve, who often comments on the dates of appliances of my cleaners and other channels, I think he's been able to date things for folk. Steve did have a channel, I think it's still up, is it Mad About Hoovers still? But sadly he doesn't upload anymore. So we do have instructions. Opens out. Lots of details there. Of course this covers other machines, including the AutoSense machines. So they've got the boost button and the AutoSense feature. Tells you how to replace the air freshener. This doesn't come with one of those horrible, the little square air fresheners on this, or oblong air fresheners, stunk. I never liked them. Cleaning the filters, replacing the belt and brushes, changing the paper bag, preparing for use, carpet height selector, etc, etc. And we do have 1999 on that. So yeah, it is late 90s. So as you can see, we've got Hoover's 4-position height control that moves easily. As long as the machine's upright, it's easy to change. So I've got this low setting, that's for lower pile carpets, carpet tiles. And then we've got medium to low pile, then medium pile and hard floors, and finally you've got the highest setting for longer pile carpets and when using the cleaning tools. If I press down on the handle release pedal, we can lower the cleaner to the operating position, and it locks in that position, so you can tilt the machine back to go over thresholds and edges of rugs, etc. But if we press it again, we can lower it down for cleaning under low furniture. And now we have access here to the exhaust filter. There we go, it's a bit stiff. And it's this brand of exhaust filter beginning with V. Violadon or something, not sure what that is. If we take that filter out, we should see a receptacle possibly in this machine, or maybe not. Yeah, there is a receptacle there. I think you can put the horrible air freshener. It fits over this part here, so it doesn't actually cover the exhaust vent. So that's the vent there. It doesn't take up the whole width of the grill, and that solid piece of plastic is where, if you had the air freshener, you'd pop it there. So let's pop the micro filter. I remember when the Turbopower 2 was launched, and I got some blurb from Hoover about it, and it was a departure, because this is a clean air fan system. Unlike the previous Turbopowers, which were still based on a dirty fan design, this is a clean fan design. By appointment to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, manufacturers of vacuum cleaners and laundry equipment, Hoover Limited, Merthyr Tydfil. Halfway up the door we can see this little bag symbol. Very early versions of Turbopower 2 had a piston style bag check indicator, but that was soon replaced with a light next to the power switch. I did have, when Turbopower 2 first came out, I had the base model and it did have the piston style bag check indicator, but that got sold in the big Hoover cull of the 90s, something that, well, I regret to this day, but you know, what can you do? They're only things, aren't they? So we've also got a little button here just at the top. Press that down and we can take off the bag door. Sometimes these could split if you weren't careful. I've seen a few that have split. Hopefully they've reinforced it enough with this later version so it shouldn't happen. Oh, we should be able to see a date wheel in here. And it's pointing to 97. The 9th month of 97. This is definitely brand new because they've got some little bits of plasticky stuff. It's almost as thin as a cobweb. So this particular part was made in 1997, and yet the instruction book had 1999 on it. So I think the cleaner, obviously the cleaner wasn't made in 97, the whole cleaner, but this part was. So we can have access to the bag. This does take the H18 fleece bags that I've shown on my channel that will fit quite a lot of Hoover uprights. But we do have the original bag fitted. There's a little yellow catch we need to press in to release the non-reusable bag. Definitely unused. Fits all Turbopower 2 and Turbopower 3 models, and also Turbopower 1000. I've shown you a Turbopower 1000 on my channel, that lovely metallic blue one with all the bells and whistles with the auto sense and the boost. I think it had the stair cleaning hose. I think it does. I can't remember. I've got so many turbo powers. So that's the bag. Before I do any demos with this, I will replace that with the fleece style bag. So we've got pre-motor filter here at the base of the bag compartment, which consists of this sponge layer. Now, oh, right, okie dokie. A sponge layer. I'm going to have to get some, I have got some in stock somewhere, but look, that's just completely, it shouldn't come apart this easily, folks, I can tell you now. That, dearie me. Well, you expect these things when you're buying old machines. This sort of foam perishes. I've seen in Electrolux models as well as Hoover ones, but we do have another filter. Oh, there's that bit of that one, which I believe was advertised as a carbon odour reducing filter. You can still buy filters for this, and bags, belts. So I will pop another filter on top of that before I put some dirt down and demo this cleaner, which will probably be on another day, but you'll see it in this video. I'll just film the unboxing today. So, note to self, needs a new filter. So let's pop the bag back. You have to insert this lower part here first. Make sure it's in place, and then you just push it forward, and that little yellow clip holds the bag in position. Like so, and then we can pop the bag door back. You'll see some lugs on the bottom. Can you see the lugs? There we go, the lugs. They fit into the holes. What's that? Oh dear, oh. My lovely polished shiny Turbopower 2 is full of dust from that filter. I'll have to get rid of that. So on goes the bag door. Just above the bag door we've got this bag check indicator and the on-off switch. This is where the cable is stored. So we've got the lower cord hook here, which is also the carry handle, and a top hook which we can rotate to release the cable in one go. And of course this is the era of fitted plugs, so we do have a 3-pin plug fitted. And here's the back of the cleaner, featuring the non-stair cleaning onboard hose that certainly will not reach up a standard flight of stairs. The scabbard tool nestling in the wand, your upholstery nozzle and dusting brush, and at the bottom we've got the rating sticker. This is Hoover model U2188 serial number is 3764924199937, that could mean 1999, and followed by 1317, made in EC, but this would have been made still in Cambuslang, Scotland, I'm pretty sure of that. 230 to 240 volts, 50 Hertz, PCEE 750 to 900 watts, PMAX 1000 to 1100 watts, it's double insulated and BEAB approved. So judging by the serial number, I think we can safely say that this cleaner was manufactured in 1999, week 37. Here's the underside of the Turbopower 2, and I can see, judging by the date wheels on the chassis, this part was actually made in July 1992. So they had a lot of parts. They must have made loads of parts and then just assembled them as and when. So this part is considerably older than the machine when it was actually assembled. So here we have it, the Turbopower 2. It's got the activator brush roll, first seen on the original Turbopower cleaners and then incorporated into the final variation of the Hoover Junior. I'm talking about the Junior with the bag on the side, not the Turbopower Junior. So we've got soft to medium brushes. I've got some agitators or activators with much more aggressive brush rolls than this. So relatively soft. We've got what Hoover called beta pads instead of the beta bars. Obviously, if these brushes wore down, you'd have to replace the whole assembly, either just the activator body or the complete assembly. And it's got extra long edge cleaning brushes, these green brushes, as you can see. And doing this, I think the belt will need changing. I thought that. I've ordered a couple of new belts for this, and they haven't arrived yet. But before I do a proper demo of this, I'm sure I'll need to put new belts in, because they do stretch, especially if you leave a cleaner like this in storage for so long. This clear ducting was a later modification because the Turbopower 2s can block up at this point. So in the past you had to undo lots of screws and remove the whole base plate, but obviously Hoover knew that that was a problem, so they fitted this easy to remove ducting cover. So you just push that up and then it should come away. It's not stuck itself down. There we go. And you can see here, this is where the dirt enters. The airflow goes through the hose and then into the bag, so it is quite narrow at the top here. So this enabled the user to take this off easily without any tools, to check for blockages, and then it just pushes back and then locks in place. These front wheels here move up and down according to your height selection, and you have two wheels at the back of the machine. I'm going to do the initial switch on with the cleaner in this position so we can see the activator brush roll rotating. So fingers crossed it all works. Here goes. That sounds fine to me. I'm just going to give the Turbopower 2 a very quick push over the carpet. Not a full demo yet, because I think it will need a new belt. I have a feeling the belt might stall when it's on this plush pile, and I do want to fit a fleece bag and the additional filter that's perished before I put lots of dirt down, and we'll see the cleaner in action. I've got one of the For Your Home H18 bags that are designed to fit the Turbopower 2, but you can see how much bigger they are compared to the original paper bag, but it's got the same fitting. It does fit. It just means there's more capacity for the air to expand, but it's not necessarily going to take as much dirt, because there's only so much dirt you can get into these, because of course you are restricted by the bag housing. But I do like to use these. I think they filter a lot better than the traditional paper bags. There we go. Yep, clicks into place. We just got to make sure that when we put the bag door on, it's not going to get trapped, so we've sort of got to tuck it in a bit. Make sure it doesn't stick out of the bag housing, like so, and then we can pop the bag door on and we'll give this a quick push. Well, this cleaner isn't as pleasant sounding as the earlier Turbopower 2 machines, although it does have a higher wattage motor and probably a cheaper motor inside this machine than the original lineup would have had. It's okay, it is grooming the carpet, but I can definitely feel it struggling a bit. A new belt is needed. The Turbopower 2s and 1000s were notorious, in my experience, for stretching belts. So if ever I put one of these away longer term, I'd always take the base plate off, slip the belt off, so when I came to use it again I'd refit the belt. Otherwise I'd find that it would stretch in storage and sometimes the brush roll would struggle. And although it was offering some grooming action, we could hear a little bit of a growl from those beta pads. It wasn't running at full speed, it wasn't performing like I would expect a new in the box Turbopower 2 to perform. So yeah, a new belt is needed. Before I finish this part of the video, we'll just do the old suction gauge test. This Turbopower 2 measured around 66 on my sealed suction gauge, which I think is fairly respectable for a late 90s upright vacuum cleaner. It's been a few weeks since I started filming the video for this Hoover Turbopower 2, and since that time has passed I've obtained some genuine belts, so I'll be fitting a new belt to this machine and doing a bit of a demo. I've also managed to locate a roundel for the handle. Now I'm not sure if this cleaner would have had one, but it looked like there was a space for it, definitely, and there was some sticky residue, so I'm thinking possibly this machine did have a roundel. Some of the later machines they didn't. It's an odd tale about this. I knew I had one and I found it upstairs, but it had gone a little bit yellow. It was from an old Hoover Turbopower Total system. So I thought I might stick that onto it. And then the next morning after I unboxed this, or it might have been several days after, I saw one of these on the floor. I saw this roundel and I thought, oh, it must have managed to get under my feet or something from my bedroom and I've just brought it downstairs. But when I went upstairs to check, it wasn't this roundel. So I've absolutely no idea where this roundel's come from, because I haven't been using any Hoover cleaners since I unboxed this one. So it's a mystery where it's come from. But anyway, it's there, I've stuck it on. It really finishes the cleaner off. So without any further ado, let's fit a new belt and put some dirt down and see how well this Turbopower 2 performs. Here are the belts, and for reference they're belt code V26, but if you're looking for these you can either type in Hoover V26 belt or Hoover Turbopower 2 belt. You should find some, not necessarily the genuine Hoover ones, but you can still get belts to fit this machine. I also believe it fits the original Hoover The One, the single motored Hoover The One. Yes, the HM1, which is the original awful white and red Hoover The One. So you can also search for Hoover The One belt, but don't get confused because they also do a machine I believe with a toothed belt. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. So I think the first thing we need to do is take off this ducting and undo that screw. That screw. So it's 3 screws to undo. The original would have been 4 screws. The original Turbopower 2 that didn't have this clear doodah. So if yours doesn't have the removable duct cover, then you'll have an earlier model, so there'll be an extra screw to undo. And then we just... it's very stuck down. There we are, that's it. Yeah, we've got some more date wheels. What does this one say? 94. And what's about July 1994 for that part. So, yeah, the belt, very slack. That, oh dearie me. This always happens. It happens with Turbopower 2. That's no wonder it wasn't performing as it should. That's really stretched. They always do it when I've had these from brand new, when they first came out. They always stretch the belts really quickly, which is a shame because it is a good cleaner. Right, so we have brand new but old Hoover branded belt. What a difference. Look at that, you can see how far that's stretched. So it might be a little bit troublesome to put the belt on. First thing we need to do is put it over the spindle at the back and then loop it over the agitator. And I might have to change position for this next part because I'll need to stretch the belt while I relocate the activator. It's normally easier if you get it in the side. Right, that is stiff. Blimey. Try and get it in one side at least. No, I've got it in the wrong side. Wow, that I've hurt my hand. That is very tight. It is the correct belt though. I just need to make sure that, there we are. Whew, there we go. Right, let's just make sure that the belt is moving correctly. There we are. Yeah, yes, I think that's going to make a huge difference to the agitation. We should actually hear a bit of agitation. It should groom a lot better now. So we can now put the base plate back, locate it at the front first under 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lugs. Make sure it is properly seated. Yes, it is. That's fine and dandy. And we can just position the screws. 1, 2, 3. Third one up the top there. Tighten them up. Make sure you don't cross thread them. If they don't go in easily, reposition the screw. That's why I always like to do these things by hand rather than use an electric screwdriver. You get a better feel of when the screws are in properly. So that's all 3 screws in place. I can now replace the clear ducting. Locate it at the back first and then lock it into position. Okay, we're now ready to give the Turbopower 2 another go. Oh dear me. Well folks, my ears are ringing. This 1100 watt Turbopower 2 doesn't sound anything near as nice as the early 800 watt versions. That's my ears are ringing. I've got dust on my lungs. I need a shower. I need a good drink. It's picked more or less everything up. Pretty bad on the hard floor. Just scattered a lot of it. Did pick some of it up, but it hardly worked on the hard floor setting. I had to go down a notch, risking scratching the hard floor. But it held its own, you know, everything was picked up. Does have the fleece bag in. Wonder how effective that fleece bag is. Well, looking at the inside of the bag door, don't know, is that, oh no, I don't think that is. No, I think it's just where the light's catching it. I don't know. Looks pretty clean. Let's remove the bag. Try not to spill any of it. That's quite full. I've picked up a lot. And that's not bad at all. There's a bit of dust here, but you'd expect that because that's where the bag attaches to the machine. And a little bit of fine dust on the edges. But the filter, I did buy a new sponge filter. A few tiny bits on it. And there's a few just tiny little pieces, but considering the amount of dirt I picked up fairly quickly, these bags have done, this type of bag, this For Your Home H18 bag has done a pretty good job. If I'd used the original paper bag inside this, I expect it would have been a lot dirtier. I don't think I'll put the bag back for now. I'll give this a bit of a wipe out, pop the bag door back on, fit a new bag actually, and then I think this Turbopower 2 can go into early retirement. Well, there you go, the 1100 watt Hoover Turbopower 2 from 1999. Still managing to hold its own. I could use this as my daily vacuum. The filtration is pretty good with those fleece bags, but it's very, very noisy. I don't think I'd want to use this on a daily basis. I'd like something a bit more modern for my day-to-day cleaning. A bit more modern and German, I have to say. But I have enjoyed using this. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I'll see you all very soon for the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.